Whether you're dealing with a bratty chick, a backstabbing guy, or an all-around sociopath, there are untrustworthy people around. Unfortunately for us trustworthy people, the ones who's watching, liars and snakes could be pretty good at hiding themselves. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? That's why we should identify these 8 signs of an untrustworthy person, learn how to spot the shady people before they have a chance to throw their shade on you. Number 1, they can't get their story straight. If you're dealing with an untrustworthy person, you'll eventually catch them in a contradiction. They might have told you they couldn't see you on Friday because they were studying, but then they let it slip days later that they saw a new movie that same Friday night. If they notice their slip up, they'll try to talk their way out of it or excuse it as a misunderstanding of some sort. But don't be fooled, an untrustworthy person is as slippery as an eel and they know exactly how to wiggle their way out of almost any situation. Number 2, their lies sound convincing. You'll know you've met an untrustworthy person when their lies sound like hard facts. This person is not just untrustworthy, they're also an experienced actor, in a sense. They are so used to lying that it sounds just as natural as they were telling the truth. Sadly for us truth tellers, the only way we can spot the sign is if we know for a fact that they're telling a lie. If your head knows that this person is spitting mumbo jumbo, but they still manage to make you feel as though you should confide in them, you're caught in an untrustworthy person's headlight. Number 3, they play the blame game. Another sign of an untrustworthy person is someone who can never take responsibility for their mistakes. If you aren't honest enough to say you've messed up, you aren't going to be honest about a lot of things. When they play the blame game, it could be blaming another person or the circumstances. Let's say someone drops an egg on the floor. A trustworthy person will tell you, "Hey, I'm sorry I broke the egg." An untrustworthy person, on the other hand, will say something like, "Those toys shouldn't have been on the ground because they made me trip so the egg fell." Or, "It's not my fault that the egg was slippery." So look out for those who never take on full responsibility of something. Number 4, they're always changing friends. We all know at least one person who hops from friend to friend like a bee on flowers. One second they're best friends with Sam, the next they're talking crap about Sam to their new BFF Alex, and so on. If they change friends once, it could be anybody's fault. But if this becomes a habit, then there's a repetitive negative vibe that this person is giving off. Basically, always burning bridges and building them back up somewhere else. Number 5, they don't know what empathy is. Empathy is when you understand and share others' feelings. You cry, I'll be sad with you. You're angry, and I totally understand where that anger is coming from. Empathy is good and necessary for healthy relationships. No one wants a friend who responds to your teary eyes with an eye roll. Untrustworthy people have a hard time connecting with others because they usually just look out for themselves. When someone is so stuck up and selfish, they don't get out enough to learn about being empathetic. Number 6, they always change their mind/opinion. They can't seem to stick to one side of anything because untrustworthy people don't commit. They see themselves as free birds who need to do whatever they want for themselves. This is why one day they could be super passionate about one thing and 1 month later they have abandoned it for the opposite cause. Or maybe last year they wanted to be an author and this year they say they are going to apply to medical school. You know that person who only roots for the winning team? Yep, that's them. Number 7, they're gossip queens or kings. If you tell an untrustworthy person your secret, you're basically just publishing it in the New York Times. No, worse. It's as if you post your secret on your Instagram story and pinned it to your account forever. That secret is getting out, my friend, and it's traveling far. Untrustworthy people are gossip ringleaders. They've got all the tea on everyone because they're constantly looking for the scoop and dishing out as trade for new gossip. Take your secret to the grave? Yeah, right. An untrustworthy person is taking that secret straight to the evening news. Number 8, they're chameleons. Chameleons can change their color to blend into any environment, and untrustworthy people are no different. They have a knack for acting, remember? Blending into new environments is what allows them to get away with so many sneaky things before they are noticed. This means they will change how they act depending on who they're with. You might see them hanging out with the fitness crew, talking about exercise and where they're biking this weekend. Then they're with the anime club sharing comics and sketches. Next, they're partying with another crew. Having all these hobbies or doing all these different activities isn't a bad thing. It's bad when they're acting as if one of their hobbies doesn't exist or they try to hide it, like the anime club, just so they can appear cooler in a different group that they are hanging out with. If you fall for their act, you'll end up being the fly to their chameleon, so watch out. Overall, sometimes you just gotta rely on your gut feeling. Whether someone is trustworthy or not, there's a saying, if it looks like a duck, swim like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then it probably is a duck. If the sign all shows that a person is untrustworthy and you feel it too, then they probably are untrustworthy. You don't want to be caught up with someone like that or waste your time dealing with someone like that. It'll just be a drain on your mind and health. Anyway, hope this helps. If so, feel free to give it a like and maybe consider subscribing for more weekly uploads like these. And as always, thanks for watching.